Clair Obscur Exhibition 33 has released on all platforms and is available on Game Pass day one. Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. I'm Monk, and today, yes, we are doing a first impressions of this game. Now, forgive me of the opener to this video, however, I do believe that Exhibition 33 has just an amazing soundtrack. Now, this is a turn-based RPG. Yes, you heard that right. It is almost a AAA rated turn-based RPG in 2025. Now, this game has been published by Caper Interactive, developed by Sandfall Interactive, and it's available for only £41. It's like $49.99 for the deluxe version of this game. Now, it's available on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, and of course over on Steam as well. This hits all platforms at the same time, and as I mentioned earlier, it is available on Game Pass day one. So if you have that, you've got no excuse to try this. Now, I know that the turn-based element is going to put so many people off, and I hear you. I do get it. It is an old school mechanic, but if you like RPGs, story hard hitting RPGs, this is a game for you. Now, it's around 30 hours to complete. It's going to be a little bit more if you fully explore the world and do all the fights that this game has to offer, but it's around a 30-hour experience, so it's nice and short, but it does hit an absolute punch. It goes at this game thick and fast. It doesn't miss a beat, and it has no story filler. So those are just a few things to be excited for when you jump into this game. Now, this is a story-driven RPG, and I don't really want to go too much into the story because I do think it is actually a really interesting story that just kind of, unravels as you go through this game. One that really hits hard with its story. It's got huge, sad undertones. But I will give you just a brief overview. So the general idea is that once a year, the paintress, which is like this god, wakes and paints upon her monolith, paints a cursed number, and everyone of that age turns to smoke and fades away. Year by year, that number ticks down, and more of the population are erased. Now she's about to paint 33, and tomorrow Exhibition 33 departs to try and destroy the paintress and to try and save the world as they know it. Now, that is definitely full of a lot of drama, and this game really is full of a lot of drama. However, it is packed with an all-star cast. The lead role in this game is played by none other than Charlie Cox. Yes, that's right. Daredevil is in this game. And you've also got Jennifer English from Baldur's Gate 3 as well. Obviously, she played Shadowheart. This game is just full of some really good voiceovers, and that absolutely tells. Now, the world itself that you are exploring is beautiful. It's ridiculously detailed. Every single inch of this game is highly detailed. You kind of want to explore it a lot. However, there are some risky battles lurking behind almost every corner, and that has a few issues. But before we get into the combat, let's talk about the cutscenes, the voiceovers, and all that jazz.
Are you real? Well, you sure smell real enough.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I thought that you... On the beach, I saw you, and I couldn't, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now, personally, I really enjoyed the voice acting and cutscenes in this game. I feel like it went about it in a really good way. Every single cutscene that kind of, jumps into this game is meaningful, it's driven, and to the point. Sometimes it's to deliver the next part of the story, something to kind of like give you a little bit more information about what's going on, maybe where you should be going. Other times it's kind of to introduce the world that you're currently running around in, because it's full of just vibrant, dense, and spectacular surroundings. As I played my way through this game, I got a sense that the creator absolutely loved the old school JRPGs, from the soundtrack to the level design to even the turn-based combat. It really resonated with me. I think it's safe to say I am a lover of turn-based games on this channel. I've shown enough of them, and I absolutely couldn't get enough of this on day one. It's a game that I think that I'm going to be spending an awful lot of time in. There's even kind of like an overworld in which you can explore a continent, which is kind of cool. Now, the continent will unlock as you find new ways to traverse the map, much like Final Fantasy, where you'd get like a chocobo, for instance, being able to then travel into new parts of that world. It kind of acts exactly the same here. But it's here that you manage to find little new areas to explore. That being like a dense corridor. There's going to be, a start and an end. You can do turns here and there, and there's no mini map, so you better be paying attention. And every kind of like bubble or dungeon that you clear out just adds more to your story. An interesting part about this game also is that you can uncover and find more notes or left behind notes of other failed expeditions. No expedition has ever made it back. And as you travel through this game, you're going to be finding the failed attempts, the failed expeditions, and listening to their harrowing story as well, which again, it's just another layer to this game that I actually really like, because of course you don't have to do that whatsoever. You may not even stumble across many of them, but it does give you something to aim for if you're a completionist, and listening to some of them stories is actually really interesting. Now, we should really take some time to talk about the combat in this game. Now, as we said before, it is turn-based combat. There is also free aim firing, which is kind of cool. You each have some kind of ranged weapon in which you can free aim fire. So perhaps you find the head might be particularly weak, or a target may be particularly weak. You can have a little pop shot at that. You generally have, though, attacks, skills, and items. Attacks are just general attacks. Skills are something that you can kind of build up. The more kind of charges you get, the more powerful skills you're going to be able to perform. And your items are going to be things like potions and revives and things like that. Now, right off the bat, this game is tough. The combat is unforgiving, especially on the harder difficulties, and therefore sometimes you have to really learn the enemy's patterns before you're able to defeat them. And did I also mention that some of the enemies that you face are absolutely stupendous in just about every way? The guy I'm fighting right now is actually a merchant. I have to defeat him to convince him that I'm worthy enough to be able to purchase items off him. Everyone you manage to recruit to your party, though, does act and fight very, very differently. They all have things that they are unique at. They all have certain ways to combo and to help another in the party, and they're all really essentially unique in their own very own play style. You can also level them up. They have skill trees, they have perks that you can collect, and of course different weapons that you can collect in the world as well. Now, as I mentioned, the battles in this game are rather difficult. You can find that you will lose health, use your potion, and have to face a rather tough boss coming up. You'll find like expedition flags, however. Now, if you use one of these, it will restore your health, restore your potions, but it will also reset all the enemies in the world. So be a little bit careful about when you use them, because if you cleared a field, and of course it's going to be those enemies that depleted your health in the first place, you may have to refight them if you use that flag. So it really is a catch-22. But the real catch-22 is mastering the systems when it comes to actually defending yourself. Now, it is a turn-based game. You get your turn, they get their turn. However, when they get their turn, you also get a reaction. You can parry an attack, you can dodge an attack, and you can jump out of the way of an attack as well. It's these different actions that can seriously change how that fight is going to end, because there's some bosses and some creatures in this game that if you don't get that parry on, you're not going to be able to defeat them. So far, I've had an absolute blast playing the game. It's actually been surprisingly a lot of fun. I found it a little bit slow at the beginning, but once you kind of understand the gravity of the game, the gravity of the story, you're kind of hooked really, really quickly. Not to mention, this game also has surprisingly an awful lot of humor thrown in here and there as well, and I feel like the game does a really good job at balancing the two. This is a very dark, somber game, but at the same time it's got those comedic elements there, especially when it comes to, you know, relaxing at the campsite in the evenings. Much like Baldur's Gate 3, you get to build like a camp and chat to your party members. All in all, I'm very excited to see how the community reacts to this game, because it's really nice to see just, you know, such a top level turn-based RPG hit the light once again and seemingly be so well received. Hopefully we're going to see many more of them in the future, because I love these types of games and I want to see many more in the future. But let me know down in the comments what you think, guys. Is this going to be a game that you're going to be jumping into, or a game that you're going to be avoiding? Be very interested to know what you think. But until next time, I've been a Monk, you've been Critically Curious, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.